You're sitting in a cafe, and that stunning woman in her 40s keeps glancing over her cup at you. Your friend's mom is suddenly friendlier than usual. Your older coworker always finds some excuse to stop by your desk for just a minute. But here's what's twisting your mind in knots. You can't figure out if she's simply being polite or if there's something else beneath the surface. Let me tell you something most men completely overlook. Older women who are interested operate on a different frequency than younger women. They're subtle, but they're also direct in a refined, mature way. Once you know the signals, today I'm unpacking the 5 unmistakable signs an older woman is quietly attracted to you. And once you understand these patterns, you'll realize how many doors you never noticed were already wide open. First, let's destroy this ridiculous idea that older women don't go for younger guys. That belief is absolute nonsense. After working with hundreds of couples with age gaps, I can tell you with certainty, mature women often prefer younger men. Why? Because many men their age are exhausted from divorces, locked into rigid habits, or carrying emotional luggage heavier than a fully loaded airport trolley. Younger men. They bring energy, optimism, curiosity, and lack the emotional scarring that decades of failed relationships can create. The attraction is real. Society just tries to hide it. But here's the twist. Older women express their interest differently. They've lived enough life to know exactly what they want, but they've also learned how to protect themselves. They're not chasing you like a 22-year-old. They're not blowing up your phone. They're not playing the childish games you're used to deciphering. Their signals are elegant, understated, and if you're not trained to see them, they'll pass right by you. Sign number 1. That intentional eye contact that lingers just a second longer than normal. Not the clumsy, oops, sorry glance. I mean the moment when she looks at you, you look back. And instead of darting her eyes away like a shy teenager, she keeps the gaze calm, confident, collected. Maybe there's a micro smile, maybe not, but she doesn't flinch. She wants you to notice she was looking. Here's what's going on psychologically. Younger women often break eye contact quickly because they're trying to be mysterious or coy. But a woman in her 40s or 50s, she's not doing that. Holding eye contact is her way of saying, yes, I see you, and I'm comfortable letting you know. I had a client, 28, working in corporate. His 45-year-old department head held eye contact in meetings in a way no one else did. Not creepy, not forceful, just intentional. He thought he was imagining it until she invited him for coffee to discuss his long-term growth. 3 months later, they were dating. That eye contact was her first invitation, and he almost walked right past it. Sign number 2, the smile that's different from her everyday, courteous smile. Older women have mastered the polite smile. They hand it out at work, at the grocery store, at neighborhood gatherings. But when she's into you, her smile warms up. It lives in her eyes. It stays longer. Sometimes her head tilts. Sometimes she laughs at something you said that wasn't even remotely funny. The transformation is subtle but unmistakable. When you enter the room, her expression shifts. She lights up, just slightly. Not over the top, but noticeably more alive than a moment earlier. That's not casual friendliness. It's selective warmth. And here's why that matters. Mature women don't spill genuine emotional energy on just anyone. If she reserves her softest expressions for you, that's intent. That's investment. Sign number 3. The compliments that aren't generic. Younger women might say, nice shirt. An older woman with interest says, you have a great sense of style. That color makes your eyes pop. She's not just complimenting. She's observing you. She sees your haircut immediately. She comments on your progress at the gym. She remembers something you said weeks ago and mentions it casually. These aren't throwaway lines. This is her collecting information, paying attention, showing genuine interest. I knew a guy whose older gym buddy started complimenting his form, his posture, his discipline. At first, he thought she was just nice. Then her comments shifted, more personal, more detailed. She wasn't admiring his workout. She was admiring him. They've been together for 2 years. Older women don't hold back compliments to avoid seeming eager. They express what they feel. It's maturity, it's confidence, and it's intentional. Sign number 4, her social media presence becomes low-key but consistent. Women in their 40s and 50s are way more active online than most young guys assume, and their interest shows up through patterns. They're not sending fire emojis. They're not flooding your DMs. Instead, they're liking every post. They leave thoughtful comments. They respond to your stories with questions that invite conversation. Consistency matters more than sparkle. The older woman who likes every post for months is showing more interest than the one who comments something flirty once in a while. She wants you to notice her presence, and trust me, she's not accidentally seeing all your posts. She's checking. One of my clients showed me his Instagram. His 43-year-old yoga instructor liked every single post for 6 straight months. Her comments were always thoughtful, often referencing something he said before. He thought she was just supportive, until she asked if he wanted to learn a private technique. The social media trail was her breadcrumb path, leading him to that moment.
Sign number 5. Her physical touch crosses the line of ordinary, but in a subtle, safe way. This is the strongest sign, but the hardest to catch because mature women do it smoothly. It's the forearm touch when she laughs, the hand on your shoulder when she passes behind you, the hug that lingers just a half second longer than it needs to. Nothing dramatic, everything calculated. Each touch is a test. She's gauging your comfort level, your reaction, your reciprocation. It starts innocently, handshakes, shoulder taps. If you're receptive, it escalates to forearm touches, warm hugs. If you respond positively, it can move to her touching your knee, brushing your hair, or touching your face. Each step is intentional. Each touch is a question disguised as a gesture. When you feel electricity in those moments, she does too. And she's silently asking, are you willing to step into this connection? What sets older women apart is their blend of subtlety and clarity. They won't publicly chase you, but they also won't play adolescent games. When they show these signs, it's because they've already analyzed you, evaluated you, and decided you're worth the risk. The biggest tragedy? Most younger men misinterpret these signals. They assume she's just being nice, or too classy to be interested, or way too out of my league. Wrong. Older women rarely spend emotional effort on men they don't find intriguing. If she's giving you attention, it means something. Let's talk about biology. Women often hit their sexual prime in their 40s. Men hit theirs in their 20s. The compatibility is practically engineered, but social stigma blinds people to it. These women aren't cougars hunting young prey. They're confident, self-aware people choosing partners based on connection, compatibility, and chemistry, not outdated expectations. Younger women might create drama, test you with games, or act unpredictable. An older woman? She signals once, twice, maybe 3 times, and waits for you to connect the dots. She's testing your awareness, not trying to manipulate you. Where do mature women usually show interest? Safe environments, workplaces, gyms, social circles, places where they know their reputation matters. They aren't risking anything unless they see actual potential, not just physical attraction, but emotional, intellectual, and experiential alignment. If you're interested, you respond in the same subtle, confident way. Return her lingering eye contact, smile back, compliment her, interact with her online, engage in conversation, Reciprocate those little touches. Give her the green lights she's watching for. And if you're not interested, you don't need to panic. Older women handle rejection with grace. No drama, no scenes. They withdraw with dignity. Conversation with a mature woman feels different from the very beginning. She asks deeper questions. She actually listens. She remembers your stories. She shares her own experiences thoughtfully. She's building a real connection, not trying to fill silence or perform for your attention. She invests time, attention, emotional energy, little risks. All of it is deliberate. None of it is random. She might mention she's free on certain days. She might talk about places she wants to go but has no one to go with. She might casually bring up something she needs help with. Tall shelves, moving something heavy, a spare ticket. These are soft invitations disguised as small talk. A client of mine finally realized his older neighbor had been doing this for months. I've been wanting to try that new restaurant, but I don't like going alone. I have an extra ticket to this event. I need someone strong to help me with something. When he finally offered, she accepted instantly. Those weren't coincidences, they were signals. Older women don't waste attention. If she treats you differently than everyone else, that's not generosity. That's targeted interest. The timing matters too. If she texts or engages with you outside of professional hours, she's thinking about you. She's choosing moments when she's relaxed, alone, and open. That's personal interest, not convenience. Another sign? She shows vulnerability with you, selectively. She lets you see the human side behind her professional mask. She shares personal stories that she doesn't tell just anyone. This isn't oversharing. This is trust. Future tense language is huge. We should go there sometime. We'd probably have fun doing that. You and I would enjoy that place. These aren't random phrases she's imagining possibilities with you. Here's the part men don't realize. An older woman showing interest is a massive compliment. She has options, experience, standards. If she's giving you signals, it's because you've passed tests you didn't know you were taking. You might feel intimidated by her confidence, her success, or her life experience, but she's not looking for a duplicate of herself. She wants what you naturally bring: energy, perspective, emotional freshness. Relationships with older women often run smoother than traditional ones. Less drama, more clarity, better communication, more respect. They've matured emotionally. They understand partnership, not chaos. They know how to handle conflict. They know how to express needs without manipulation. They've outgrown insecurity-driven behavior. Older women don't want to control your life. They respect your independence. They're not trying to be your mother. They want a partner, someone who complements their life, not someone who depends on them completely. What you get is mutual growth. She brings experience and stability. You bring freshness and enthusiasm. You learn from each other. It's not a teacher-student dynamic, it's an exchange. Yes, some people judge, some will raise eyebrows, but the couples I've worked with consistently say the happiness is worth it. Confident older women know how to navigate social pressure. They've dealt with it their whole lives. The biggest mistake? Waiting too long. Older women don't linger in uncertainty forever. They show interest, observe your reaction, and if nothing happens, they move on with no baggage. If you're interested, you need to respond while the window is open. You don't need dramatic declarations, just reciprocate. Increase the closeness naturally. Create moments for connection. Match her energy with calm confidence. Men fear misreading signals, but when you see multiple signs, eye contact, warmth, compliments, touches, engagement, you're not imagining things. One sign might be coincidence. 5 signs, consistently, that's genuine interest. When you ignore these opportunities, you deny yourself potentially incredible relationships. Some of the happiest couples I know exist because a younger guy finally realized an older woman was signaling interest for months. The maturity required is simply this. Can you appreciate a woman who doesn't play games and won't tolerate toxic behavior? Can you handle a relationship built on transparency, respect, and emotional depth? If yes, pay attention. Older women aren't desperate. They're selective. Their lives are full: careers, friends, hobbies, independence. If they're making space for you, it's intentional. They communicate clearly. They respect boundaries. They maintain independence. They balance connection and individuality. They invest wisely. They nurture without suffocating. They contribute without controlling. Many older women look better than ever because confidence makes them glow. Attraction doesn't die with age, it evolves, and many women become more beautiful as they grow into themselves. Their emotional availability makes relationships smoother. They're grounded. They understand themselves. They've done the inner work. They know how to love without chaos. The practical benefits, stability, communication, financial clarity, emotional maturity, create healthier, more secure dynamics. The key to recognizing interest is simple. Look for clusters, consistency, escalation, special treatment, not random moments. So here's your challenge. For the next month, observe the older women in your life. Who lights up when you walk in? Who maintains eye contact? Who touches you casually? Who remembers your details? Who creates openings for connection? You might discover opportunities you've been blind to for years. Life is too short to miss extraordinary experiences just because someone happens to be a few years older. Have you ever gotten these signs? Have you ignored them because you assumed she couldn't possibly be interested? Have you experienced the difference between dating someone with emotional maturity and someone still figuring out who they are? Share your experience. Let's normalize healthy age gap connections. And let's help men recognize the incredible relationships they might be walking right past. No.